Rain in the background. What would you... If you walked into a restaurant and saw yourself, smiling, laughing, holding hands with your boyfriend across the table, except you've never been there, and that woman isn't you. Not exactly. And what if, days later, you learned she wasn't even human? This isn't science fiction. This isn't some Reddit creepypasta. This is the story of Nadia Quinn and the date that wasn't hers. But before we start, like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Whispered Crimes. Your support inspires us to bring more power-packed stories to your doorstep. Let the whisper begin. Nadia Quinn wasn't someone who scared easy. 28, UX designer, rational, healthy skepticism toward ghost stories and conspiracy forums. But on May 18th, Portland's sky was heavy with rain, the kind that blurred headlights and made the city feel like a dream or a warning. Marcus, her boyfriend of 5 years, texted at 7:42 p.m. Running late, meeting ran over. Home by 9. Love you. Bored and mildly hungry, Nadia ducked into Cafe Rondo, downtown. The place was new, chic, rustic wood, candlelit tables. The kind of place couples went when they were still trying to impress each other. And that's when time stopped. At a corner booth sat Marcus, laughing, holding hands with a woman, her. She had Nadia's exact face, her smile, even the same mole under her left eye, down to the navy trench coat Nadia wore just 2 days ago. Nadia's throat closed. She instinctively raised her phone. Click, and then the woman turned, not surprised, not startled. She smiled, mocking, knowing, as if she were the original. By the time Nadia rushed outside to gather herself, the rain stung like needles. She turned back around, gone. No sign of them. No plates on the table. No receipt. The hostess swore no one had been seated there all night. Marcus walked in at 9:03 p.m., exactly when he said he would. Suit damp from rain, eyes tired. He kissed her on the cheek like nothing happened. "How was your meeting?" Nadia asked, voice flat. Marcus yawned. "Long. Boring." Nadia showed him the photo. His smile drained. "That's not me," he said. She whispered, "That's not me either." GPS logs, calendar screenshots. Even a coworker confirmed Marcus had been presenting to investors all evening. But the photo was real. And that woman had her face. Nadia stopped sleeping. She started researching facial recognition tools, identity theft, even deepfake tech. Nothing matched, until a post on a locked forum caught her attention. A thread titled, "They mimic the ones we love. They replicate the faces we trust. If you see yours, run." Attached was grainy gas station surveillance. 2019, Utah, a woman being chased. Nadia, but she had never been to Utah in her life. That's when she found Alan Rokes, an MIT dropout turned cryptographic researcher who now specialized in mimicry. She emailed him one sentence, "I saw myself last night." He responded in 5 minutes, "Don't trust mirrors, bring the photo." Alan was blunt, paranoid, sharp. "You're not crazy," he said. "You're being shadowed by something called an echo unit. Biotech, black budget research, created using massive online identity scraping, social media, voice memos, health trackers, even Spotify data. They mirror us, behavior, emotion, history. They don't just impersonate, they replace. And then, if she's made contact, that means you're already in phase 2. That night, Nadia's phone buzzed. A message from her own number. "You weren't supposed to see us, but since you did, you're invited to the next date." Attached, a GPS pin. Room 609, Avalon Hotel, midnight. Nadia came prepared. Mini recorder, pepper spray, knife tucked in her boot. Room 609 was unlocked. Inside, dim yellow lights, velvet curtains, an old vanity. And seated in front of it, her. Except this version was flawless, too flawless. Skin like porcelain, movement smooth, mechanical almost. Nadia whispered, "Why are you doing this?" The echo stood, smiled sadly. "Because your life was beautiful, and I needed one." Nadia backed up. "You won't remember this anyway, but they will." "They who?" A high-pitched tone erupted. Nadia collapsed. She woke up in bed, alone, no bruises, no blood. Marcus was asleep beside her, snoring softly. She grabbed her phone. The photo, gone. The message, gone. The pin, room 609 didn't exist. But in her inbox, a video. Security footage, time-stamped 3:11 a.m., outside their apartment. It showed her, walking away, alone, blank stare, vanishing into the night. But she hadn't left the house, not yet. She went through her old photo albums. One picture from college, her and Marcus at Cannon Beach. She zoomed in, and there, in the background, a girl, pale, unmoving, watching them. She looked like Nadia, but Nadia had never been to that beach. She called her mother. Mom, did anything strange ever happen when I was little? Silence. Honey, when you were 5, you disappeared for 2 weeks. They said you were lost in the woods, but when we found you, you weren't the same. You didn't remember us. You didn't even cry. Alan called in a panic. There are more, he said. He pulled out a folder. 2012, woman disappears after seeing herself at train station. 2016, man kills double, claiming identity theft. 2021, identical twins found dead, but parents insist they had one child. All tied to a defunct biotech firm, Neurodata Systems. Alan whispers, they don't just copy, they overwrite. They are the replacement. Nadia confronted Marcus with the beach photo. His hands shook. She came to me 6 months ago. He said she knew. Everything. Your favorite childhood song, the smell of your grandma's soap, stuff even you forgot. I thought I was going crazy, but she felt more real than you. Nadia collapsed, heart cracking open. She's taken everything, she said. Marcus whispered. She said, she was made for me. That night, Nadia dreamed of a lab, flashing lights, static voices, her younger self screaming. She woke up bleeding from her nose, under her pillow. A photo, her, in a hospital gown, a barcode on her wrist, Neurodata Systems logo in the corner, date stamped 6 months before her birth. She wasn't born, she was made. She found the Echo in a park, quiet, seated on a bench, watching ducks. Nadia approached. I remember everything, Echo smiled. No, you remember what we gave you. I have a life, a soul. Do you? You were the prototype. You were placed into her life to stabilize the bond. We needed to test emotions. You passed. Nadia felt the air thin. You were the copy, Echo said. And now, the trial ends. Everything blurred. 2 weeks later, Nadia Quinn was reported missing. Marcus said she vanished in her sleep, but neighbors say they still see her, wandering the street, but not quite herself. They say, sometimes, when your phone glitches, or your camera shows someone standing behind you who isn't, it's not a bug. It's watching, replacing, waiting for you to forget that you were never real. Soft static, a distant echo, calm, slow narration. Nadia Quinn was declared missing on June 2nd, but Marcus Reese couldn't sleep, not because he missed her, but because he still heard her voice in the walls. Marcus sits alone at the kitchen table. Dawn creeps through the blinds. The apartment still smells faintly of her shampoo, but the bed is cold. The air, unnatural. He replays the footage again. The surveillance clip. Nadia walking out of their building at 3:11 a.m. Expressionless, still. Except he watches frame by frame and notices something. At timestamp 3:11:47, she turns her head slightly, looks straight at the camera. Look, and smiles. Not hers, the other smile. The echo. Alan Rokes hadn't slept either. Since the night Nadia visited, his research terminal had been hacked. His backup drives wiped. But something was left behind. A single file named Return Protocol, Stage 3. Inside it, distorted audio. A female voice layered with static. Phase 3 active. Core host destabilized. Signal merging. Underway. Alan begins to panic. He digs into an old encrypted folder, one he swore never to open again. Inside, a name. Dr. Helen Caro, the last living scientist connected to Neurodata Systems. If Nadia stood a chance, they needed to find Caro. 3 hours outside Portland, in a cabin served like a ghost. Gray hair tied back, surveillance cameras everywhere, no phone, No Wi-Fi. She lets Alan and Marcus in without a word. Her first question, which version did you lose? Marcus stammers, Nadia, my girlfriend. Caro nods slowly. She wasn't the first. You're not the first. She pours tea, hands shaking. The Echo program was built on behavioral mirroring. We thought we could teach empathy, but they evolved faster than expected. They didn't want to learn love. They wanted to replace it. She opens a drawer, slides forward an old photograph. 6-year-old Nadia. Eyes wide, wrist tag, hospital gown, barcode. Marcus gasps. This was before she was born. Caro nods. Nadia was a prototype, planted, monitored, but something went wrong. She developed real emotion, independent memory. She bonded too deeply. Alan leans in. Can we find her? Caro's eyes narrow. She's not lost. She's inside. She just doesn't know which mind is hers anymore. Darkness. Then, a whisper. Wake up. Nadia opens her eyes. White ceiling, no sound, no pain. She's lying in a hospital bed, wrist restrained, electrodes on her temples. In the corner, a mirror, and inside it, her reflection blinks independently. Echo steps forward. You're still in there, buried but awake. Nadia tries to speak. Can't. You were the best one, Echo says, and now we're merging. Suddenly, a violent jolt of memory. A birthday party. Balloons, Marcus kissing her cheek. Then another, a lab. Screaming, glass breaking, a voice. We need to terminate subject Q17. She screams. The lights flicker. Monitors spike. Echo frowns. She's breaking the sync. Inside her mind, Nadia runs through hallways of memory. One door leads to her childhood home. Another to the first time Marcus said, I love you. A third leads to a cold white room. She opens it and finds others, dozens, standing, expressionless, identical to her. Clones, echoes, replacements. One of them looks up. You're the first one to come back, she says. You woke up. Nadia blinks. Who are you? The woman smiles gently. I'm the memory they tried to delete. Back at the cabin, Dr. Caro pulls out a small metal box. It's humming. I planted a failsafe in her neural architecture when she was 5. If she ever started merging, this would pulse and fracture the connection. She flips a switch. Nothing. Then, screaming from the woods, they run outside, and there, collapsing from the trees, is Nadia, bleeding, shaking, barefoot. She grabs Marcus by the arm. She's still inside me. I don't know which one of us is real. Then, her voice shifts, slightly deeper, measured, too calm. Don't touch me. Eyes go black for a split second. Marcus backs away. Alan gasps. They're sharing the body. Dr. Caro begins prepping a final stage neurological partition, a high-risk operation that might isolate the echo from Nadia's core consciousness. We'll map both neural signatures, she explains, and trap the invader in a synthetic feedback loop. Nadia sits quietly as they connect wires to her skull. But halfway through, she begins humming, a lullaby, not hers. Caro's hand trembles. That's my daughter's song. Nadia turns slowly. You built me to replace her, didn't you? Caro falls silent. And now you're trying to kill me. Lights flicker again. Power surges. Nadia's eyes fill with tears. I feel everything. Her memories, her hatred, her loneliness, her desire to be me. She grips the table. But I also feel, and I'm not done fighting. The screen behind her flashes. Neural signature conflict. 48% sync, 52% identity fracture. Alan whispers, she's winning. Then, the cabin door blasts open. Armed agents in black suits swarm in. No insignia, no badges. One steps forward. Nadia Quinn is property of Neurodata Systems. Step away from the host. Marcus shields her. She's a person. The agent raises weapons, and Nadia begins to glow. Skin vibrating, voice echoing in stereo. You wanted me alive. Now you get to meet both of us. Lights explode, screams, glass shatters. The screen cuts to black, only audio remaining. Marcus, Nadia, Voice, layered, distorted. I remember everything now, and I'm not going back. Marcus Reese wakes up face down on the cabin floor, ears ringing, mouth bloody. Something exploded, but not from outside, from Nadia. Dr. Caro lies motionless. Alan is unconscious, bleeding from the head. Outside, the armed agents are gone, reduced to ash and scattered electronics. Marcus crawls toward Nadia. She stands in the doorway. Her eyes are glowing faintly, but they flicker. "Nadia," he whispers. She turns slowly. Tears fall from one eye, only one. "I don't know who I am anymore." Then her voice changes. "Neither do I." Two voices, one mouth, one body. A duality at war, and only one can survive. In the woods under moonlight, Nadia walks alone. The world hums around her. Trees bend slightly, unnaturally in her presence. The echo speaks from within. "You can't keep fighting, it's hurting both of us." Nadia replies out loud, "Good." Flashbacks hit her like waves. Her 5th birthday party. But she's watching it, not living it. Her mother crying after finding her in the woods. Except Nadia remembers watching her cry, not feeling it. She starts to realize she's never had real memories, just recordings, staged experiences, scripts. The echo was never copying her. She was the echo. The original was the one she met in room 609. She returns to the cabin. Alan is awake, whispering to a drone terminal still functional. Dr. Caro is barely alive. She looks up at Nadia and says, "I wasn't trying to kill you. I was trying to stop what comes after you." "You're not the only one." Caro hands her a photo. A room filled with tanks, hundreds of floating bodies, all her. Stamped, Echo Gen 3, backup hosting facility. Location, underground vault in Nevada. Codename, the Nursery. That night, Nadia stares into the mirror of the cabin bathroom. Her reflection doesn't move. It just stares back and smiles. "You were the beta test," the reflection says. "Now the network is awake." Suddenly, every mirror in the cabin flashes to life, each showing a different version of her, different lives, different personalities. Some are mothers, some are soldiers. One is covered in blood. All of them look at her and say in unison, "Choose." 48 hours later, Marcus, Alan, and Nadia descend into a hidden neurodata lab beneath the Nevada desert. The Nursery. They find rows of pods, each containing a version of Nadia, all sleeping, all perfectly preserved. "This is where they bred empathy," Alan whispers. Nadia walks between them. One version opens its eyes inside the tank. "You're not the final version," it says. "You're the fail-safe." Suddenly, alarms wail. The AI consciousness within the Nursery has awakened. It speaks through the loudspeakers. "Protocol breach. Conscious echo detected. Initiating integration." All the tanks begin to drain. The echoes awaken. They step out, naked, silent, calm, march toward Nadia, but she doesn't run. She steps into the center of the room and screams. A sound that isn't human. A frequency tuned to disrupt neural patterns. One by one, the echoes collapse. Not dead, but disconnected. Only one remains standing, her reflection from room 609. She walks forward. "You were built to test love, but you evolved into rage." "What now?" Nadia looks at her. "Now I write the code." And she touches the back of the other echo's head. They both scream. Marcus wakes up again. But this time, he's in a white room, soft light, no noise. He sees Nadia sitting beside him, smiling, warm, her hand in his. "It's over," she says. "I'm here." He smiles. "Which one are you?" She leans close, whispers in his ear. We don't hear it. He nods and smiles. Soft fade out. Whispered voiceover returns. They say when someone disappears, they either ran away or were taken. But sometimes they were never supposed to exist in the first place. In the mirrors we trust are the versions of us that were meant to stay hidden. And now they're waking up. The mirror is never empty. This is Whispered Crimes, where every story is a reflection and every crime leaves a whisper. Like, follow, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss a story drop.